The nuptial bells will be ringing soon, signaling a new dawn for Patricia and Chris, as they both walk down the aisle to exchange marital vows. There is, however, a sensitive issue that is yet to be settled between both parties: having a joint account.
So what do you think now? We should have a joint account.
Joint account?
Yes.
We don't need a joint account.
Why?
I can't buy it.
But why?
Between both parties having joint accounts, while Chris doggedly suggests they both operate a joint account when married for effective running of the home, Patricia couldn't help but debunk the view, as Chris's antecedent with respect to financial prudence is nothing short of irresponsible.
Look at it. This is...
Wait. I actually decide I will spend your money.
You will spend the money.
I will spend your...
money.
Okay, forget it. Forget it.
We need to talk about
So what?
The consistent bone of contention between both lovers over the course of their 4 years courtship is Chris's excessive spending.
No, you have to plan.
Can we just drop this?
Please?
Can we just drop this?
Please, listen. Listen.
I'm listening.
We have to do something about it. This
What
is
are we
very
doing about it?
important.
What are we-
We cannot have a joint account.
Are you serious?
Yes.
On several occasions, Chris had emptied his account on the spur of the moment. Chris loves to dress in the latest designers and top-notch accessories. He is in the habit of lending cash from his buddies without the intention of refund. This financial mismanagement forms a strong base for Patricia's disapproval for the suggested joint account, much to Chris's displeasure. Their inability to reach a consensus on these issues seems to be generating an acrimonious atmosphere that Patricia can't bear. Pat fears losing him if she keeps rejecting his suggestion of joint account. Perhaps he would handle his finances more responsibly when they are married and kids start popping in with their responsibilities. Both lovers have painstakingly built their relationship for a number of years, surmounting daunting hurdles along the way. Patricia is 32 years old at the moment, and the thought of starting a brand new relationship altogether isn't an appealing option for her. More so, invitation cards for their upcoming wedding ceremony have been distributed, with dignitaries expecting to grace the occasion in their numbers. Both families are in the final stages of the preparation. How should Patricia smoothen this rough edge before final commitment is made?
Hello there, welcome to another episode of Decisions, where we get to help you make godly decisions. My name is Rachel Biogene, and on today's episode we are going to be talking about misgivings, and it centers around financial responsibility as people that want to get married, people that are already married, or just individuals. Today I have two seasoned guests to help me dissect today's deliberation, and just close to me is Reverend Victor Ekwe. He's the pastor of Church of God Mission, Dominion Palace, Water Resources, Ephraim. It's good to see you, sir.
Thank you so much.
It's always great to have you on set.
I'm glad to be around as well.
Thank you. And just sitting beside him is Mrs. Patience Amoda. She's the manager of Iris School off Airport Road, Warri. Good to have you, ma.
I'm happy to be here.
Welcome. You look dashing.
Thank you.
All right. Right to what we need to talk about today. Okay. This first question sounds like a bomb. Like, just sounds like I'm dropping it out there. But I think that's what I want to do. and the bomb is joint account compulsory? Before we even start to dig deep into this issue, I think I wanted to just touch it because I think it's something that we should just touch and throw it away out of the window. Is joint account a compulsory thing for married people, Reverend Victor?
I'll say no. It's not compulsory, but it could be necessary.
Okay. This is the point I want to say. Elongate, expatiate.
Okay, so joint account is not a must, but it could be necessary. And the reason I say it could be necessary is that, you see, people don't know what tomorrow holds. The main thing is that sometimes a couple could, you could find yourself in a situation where you wish you had access to funds in your spouse's account at certain key times. I'll give you an example of a general overseer in this town here who was shot by armed robbers. He was unconscious for 3 months, and for that 3 months his wife and children didn't have access to money. A staff of the church, the other staff of the church that had access to finances, was basically dictating what they would eat and how they would get money, because everybody thought that the man was going to go. So at such key points, you understand that you realize that if this woman had access, for instance, if they had a joint account, just looking at it from family perspective now, we've seen people who one person drops dead and then the other person could not get access to funds for 1 year, 2 years, and the whole family crumbles. So it's not compulsory, but it can be very, very necessary.
I have a question to ask on what you've said, but I think I'll ask the question later.
Right.
It's going to better on ask later. But Ma, what do you think on joint account?
Yeah, I don't think it's compulsory.
Okay.
Also, and I just think it's necessary, like
Okay.
he rightly said.
Okay, then thank God you didn't say what I wanted to say, so I'll get to ask the question later. Moving on, how what's the importance of being financially responsible before getting married? We see a lot of people around here that are not really financially responsible. They've not been able to do anything financially. They've not been able to. Some of these people move from staying with their parents to now getting married. From I've never paid house rent before, I've never bought anything monthly before, and now I have a home to run and all of that. So how necessary it is for people to be financially responsible, men and women alike, not just the men, Ma?
Okay, it's very important for both parties to be financially responsible before you get married. It's a step of maturity. Okay, it's actually a requirement, because in marriage there are so many things you need to do. Before you get married, you need to be able to make sacrifices, especially when the children start coming, and you need to plan for the future. All right, so if you are not able to manage your finances, you won't be able to do a lot of things and you won't go forward.
Okay.
Yes, you'll be stuck somewhere. There's a saying that people who go ahead in life, they look for a circumstance, the good circumstance that they want. If they can't find it, they create it. Okay? So you have to create what you want to become. You have to plan it. You can't separate planning from the future.
Okay.
Because whomever you are is what you decided to be before now.
Okay.
There's a saying also that today is the beginning of what will happen in the future.
Okay.
So whatever you do today will determine how you will live tomorrow.
Okay, Victor.
Okay, so for me, personally, growing up, I think proper financial responsibility started for me when I got into university. Because at that point in time, I could manage, let's just use a figure, 10,000 naira monthly, given to me by my parents. And so I have it, I'm able to draw a budget to say this how I'll spend it, this how. So I think that helped. I know mates of mine while we were on campus, from the first week, they finish up that 10,000 naira, snapping photographs, attending parties. So, like she said, what happens today is a pointer to how your tomorrow will look like. So some people, no matter how little their parents give to them, they are able to, so that's like a school. As a matter of fact, I feel financial responsibility and accountability should be taught in schools, irrespective of which, whatever you are studying. So, but for me, managing my own little monthly allowance is a step that I use to mature financially, to have financial responsibility. It's very, very important, and everybody should have that before launching into.
So, okay, now to these people that need our help in particular, they've been dating for 4 years, and now it's few weeks or maybe few months to their marriage, and all of a sudden it looks like this is an issue. Like, this guy's been financially responsible for a while. So I want you to address people who think that they can look away from issues that they've been seeing. Then all of a sudden, when marriage is in their eye, now looks like, wow, they're getting married, I want to deal with this all of a sudden. So how do you think this lady could have better handled it before it got to this point of marriage, Reverend Victor?
Well, to me, that subject is not in the lady's hands. What the lady would have been doing is she would have been saying, guy, the way you spend, she shouldn't be the one bringing a subject of, I hope we're not going to have joint accounts in this our marriage that we're going to. So you see, to me, this subject is not in the lady's hand. As a man, when I was getting married, I knew all the things I needed my wife and I to iron out. I came up with the agenda to say this, how do we handle this and this. So the man should have brought something like this up when they started their relationship. He shouldn't have waited till a week or so or 2 weeks to the marriage. You understand? To me, I felt he should have thrown the subject. A true leader will throw up a subject and then shares his opinion and hears the opinion of his lady, and if she's not buying it, you don't force it on her. Otherwise, it will look like you have an ulterior motive. You just throw up a subject, say, okay, honey, I think we should have only 2 children. What do you think? And then the person say, no, we must have, I think we should have joint account. What do you think? And the person say, I don't think so. And you allow her to mature, you allow her to flow, not insist and push. So those kind of issues, I think, is the man that should have brought it up. The lady from onset should have been telling the guy that, the way we are spending, or the way you are spending is not the best. But I don't think it's in her place to be telling the man that when we get married, we will not do joint account. Something like that. That's my opinion.
You're smiling already.
Yeah. Okay. I had this notion that whatever your spouse is really shows up before marriage. And each time I hear a story, each time I see people, it confirms it. And it tells me you will definitely know who this person is actually before the marriage day, before the wedding.
That's right.
Okay, and this has been going on. The lady knows. You just ask yourself, is this what I want for myself? Can I cope with this?
Yeah.
So if I want to go ahead with this marriage, how do I handle this? Okay, I've had a friend I have a friend who has a husband that is in this kind of thing. So she came to me and she's like, this is how my husband is, and what do I do? And we agreed that she saves money without him knowing. Okay, and when the trouble came, it was that money that we did that saved them. And he was like, oh, thank God you had this money saved somewhere, you didn't tell me, But do you know that it didn't end there? They got into another trouble and there was no money to save them. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is, it will always show up, okay? You have to decide if this is how you are going to continue, or you put a pause.
Okay.
Now.
Okay. I have a question on that, but we'll do that just after the break. Please don't go anywhere, we'll be right back. Welcome back to Decisions. Before we went on the break, we were just talking about financial responsibility and management. Okay, so you both made a statement on how it wasn't on the lady, to talk about joint account, which I'm not going to talk about now. Okay. But my issue right now is that we are all flawed, and I have issues. The person I'm with has issues, and we are both trying to. The idea is both of us trying to work together to become better. And so, let's assume, it's not an assumption, this guy's flaws is on financial responsibility. Mm-hmm. So my question, my pain is, how could she have helped him be a much better responsible person in the past 4 years? Okay. And I don't think you date someone for 4 years and the same issue they had the first year is the same issue they're having 4 years after. I'll be bothered. I'll be scared if there's no growth pattern that I can see. So how do you help someone that is in a, it might not even be your spouse, it could be a best friend, it could be a brother or a sister. How do you help someone that is not financially responsible become a better person? I would start with Mrs.
Yeah, I will help the person if after discussion, like, oh, don't you think it will be better to spend this money on this? And if I find out that the person is yielding towards the pleasure more than things that will help in the future, I will allow us have a project. Okay, I will like, okay, why not think of let's buy a property so that when we get married we'll already have a house. Okay, and so we can work towards that, having a property, and then we'll move on to building it. Okay.
Now, the flip side of that is, what if they don't get married? I mean, why people would shy away from us having that kind of major investment together before we are married. Someone could be like, what if he ditches me, or what if she leaves me and all?
In fact, one of the things we've not even talked about, from the clip that we saw, we don't even know, are both of them working? It looks like the guy has money to spend, so probably he's working. Probably he earns higher than her. If he earns higher than her, then his intentions are not bad. But if he doesn't work, and she's the one that works, he probably is a gold digger. So if he earns higher than her, he probably has good intentions.
Okay, I'd like to come in here. If the guy earns more than the lady, it shows that he is not directing his finances in the right direction. Okay, and so she needs to come in to help him. To like, why not we spend this money? If we have a project, if we have something we are looking at, the money will be going in that direction. I like good clothes, I like to dress beautifully, but I also like my family to be comfortable. I like to prepare for what I will see in future. Okay, so if the guy is not channeling his finances in the right direction, she should come in and subtly, romantically, those kind of women ways, help the guy channel his finances in such a way that the family will gain it. Okay, they can also go ahead to buy clothes and buy shoes, good shoes and good clothes, but they can also have something tangible to look up to.
Okay, we're getting there. Okay, so for people that are already in this kind of problem, that it's already too late for them, like, okay, let me not use that word, they're already married, so to speak, or like this lady, she's 32 and she doesn't want to. I don't think that 32 is, I think that if you wait 35, you still get someone to get married to you. But I'm just saying, but for her own mindset, she feels like, oh, I can't let this guy go. I'm going to marry like that and all of that. So how do you help people that are already in marriages where one spouse is financially responsible? It could be the wife, it could be the husband. Exactly. So how do you help them to keep their finances in check in such a way that they don't run into financial debt or they don't get into trouble financially? Victor.
Some of the things that she said, there's really nothing you can do if that is part of how the person is made up. So the only thing you can do probably is to pray that God will touch the person's heart. Then if you have some books that can help, yes, you could buy some books and give to him so that he can read. But at that point in time, you cannot force the person to say, look, you must. You understand? You must stop spending your money, I must. Those are things that are applicable abroad. If it's Europe or America now, I'm sure whether the lady also will seize the other person's ATM card and all those things. But those things are not, they don't really thrive here. So, but another way, like what she suggested, could be, you know what, this is my life, this is what I'm stuck in, I better see how I can talk to my husband or talk to my wife, depends on who has the more money and who spends anyhow. Talk to my husband or talk to my wife and lure him into a project that will be financially beneficial to the family, while the rest is available for him to waste. At least let's channel some resources into some kind of business venture, which the person would appreciate later on when he's broke.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, there are some partners that are very stubborn and they wouldn't want to yield to your suggestion. So if you find yourself in that kind of situation, I would advise that you work hard, make your own money, build your houses, buy your cars, do everything you need to do. You don't need to depend on your partner.
That was just straightforward. Okay, but I think you gave us advice earlier on how she can or he can one of the people, the partners can save up without the other person knowing.
Yes.
Just keep saving without the other person
keep
knowing.
saving,
Okay, which will lead me
it's
to
a
the
good
first
motive.
question I said I was going to ask.
Okay.
When we talked about joint account, Reverend Victor said it's necessary. It's not compulsory, but it's necessary because you could run into some financial emergencies. Now, I find it like should both spouses not have free access to their accounts, to each other's accounts?
Okay.
For example, when the word of ATMs and transfer pins, like is it wrong that I know my spouse's ATM ATM card pin or his transfer pin? Like, shouldn't I be able to access? Thank you,
Okay,
to access their account.
let me come in here. You see, my wife was in a bank, so I wanted us to have a joint account. I proposed that we have a joint account.
Before you got married or after you got married?
After we got married.
Okay.
Before we got married, we've always, from our separate worlds, we've always pooled every resources together. Whatever I have, whatever she has, we use it to buy this, buy television, buy this, buy in preparation for our marriage. So I proposed we have a joint account, but she turned the idea down. And she did that because of what she thought her colleagues would say. Because my salary account was in the bank where she works. She was basically my account officer. Okay. And then she knows what a lot of people, a lot of men who their wives, who them and their wives have joint accounts. There's a way the outsiders see them. The outsiders see them like, this man, but his wife don't give her something, drink or whatever. Okay. So she didn't want to be among people that would be stigmatized. So she turned the idea down, and I just allowed it to go. But what we did was I gave her power of attorney. Okay. So it's not a joint account, but should she want to, she can sign my check. Yeah. Now, apart from that, she knows my PIN, I know her PIN, but we don't pray for something bad to happen. But the reality is this: if you know your husband's PIN or you have his ATM card, the day your husband or your wife dies, the bank will block the account. You cannot withdraw money with, even if you have the ATM. They will block the account because it's normal procedure, normal banking procedure.
But then again, over time, if you have your wife or your spouse, whichever one, as on your account as your next of kin, they would open it because the story you gave, apparently, the woman was not in the picture.
So look at it. Let me make you understand. So the bank will block the account. When they block the account, then there is a process. It's frustrating, and permit me to say, within that period, if there is 1 billion in your account, the bank will be trading with the money. There is a legal process. Sometimes it could take 1 year or 2 years. You go and bring death certificate, you go and bring this, bring that, family will gather and all. So imagine you were about to pay your children's school fees, you were about to do all those ones will be on hold for a long time through legal before the account.
But for a joint account, would all of
but for a joint account, you understand, and an account where somebody has power of attorney or double signatories, that's an extra, because one other person, either person can sign the check and withdraw money, something like that.
Okay, that's so. What are your last words for people that are in situations whereby there's a lot of financial misappropriation with their spouses? How do you advise them, to come out of it?
Oh, yeah. My last advice is, life is not a dress rehearsal. Okay, you just have one life. If you decide very well, one is enough for you. Whatever you have to decide, you have to do it now. It's very important. You just have one life. And so take your decisions.
Thank you.
Okay, my last words will be, they were both naked and not ashamed. If you cannot be one financially with your spouse, I doubt there will be several things probably that you are hiding. I advised every couple looking at me right now, plan together. Even if the account is not a joint account, plan together. Get to the point where both husband and wife, you are open to one another, you plan together, you will achieve more. Remember the Bible says one of you will chase 1,000, two of you will chase tens of thousands, so you will achieve more. My friend here myself here, if you look at our lives and look at the planning, the collaboration between husband and wife, it makes you achieve more. I see a lot of men who say, no, my wife's money is her money. My money is our money. That's pride. That wife you are talking about, say, keep your money, let me keep my money. That wife can become the Ukonja Iwela of tomorrow. You will not be saying, baby, can we have joint account now? It's too late. So if you have a wife that is willing for us to plan together, do it, take advantage, you will achieve more as a family. So those are my last words.
Okay, thank you very much. From over here, I think that for people that are dating and your spouse is not so responsible financially, I think you could actually, do a lot to help them. You could get to educate them more financially, and educating them doesn't mean you're spiting them. I think you could help them plan their finances. I had a friend one time. He was asking me out, but I wasn't going to say yes, but we were friends. And I was giving him, he was working at the point. So I gave him a plan on how he wanted to get a car. I'm like, okay, God can give you a miracle and give you a car now. But the miracle also could be that we could save money for you in the next 1 year. It was a very great plan, and he really, really appreciated it. So I'm saying that you could also help your spouse to be stronger if you're the better person. Teach them, send them things that they could learn. Let them learn these things. And if you're already married, you have more strength. God's grace is for you. But you could also, save up on your own and do these things without the other person knowing. And finally, this is not a paid ad, but I just think I should share it especially for people that are not even married. There's this app that I use. It's called CowryWise. It's and it's not a paid ad, by the way. COWRYWISE, that's Cowry and Wise. So it helps, it's automated savings. Okay. So you could just you connect it to your bank account and it saves for you as much as, if it's every day you want 500 naira, 100 naira, 1000, if it's monthly you want, it just saves up for you, and when you want your money you withdraw it back. So you don't have to even be bothered about, okay, let me go and save. It will save for you the day you don't feel like saving. I think we could use it, but do not forget that financial management is key for anybody, single or married alike. Thank you for joining us episode of Decision. We hope that we've been able to help you. If you need to reach out to any of us, you can reach out to us at the studio or reach out to them right now. The details are on the screen right now. Thank you for joining. We'll see you again next week, same time, same station. My name is Rachel. Bye.
I don't know what it is that brought you here today.